Everybody, this is Coach Allison back for Defy Aging, and I believe we are in week 14. I hope that's correct. This week's gonna be really different, and we're gonna do something really fun for some good variety. So what we're gonna do is have a list of different exercises and a list of different interval times. Each one individually is gonna be written on a Post-it note or something, but a Post-it works great, and probably stuck up to the mirror or the wall, but with the words on the back side so you cannot see what's on each one. So picture like this side, we have Post-it note here, 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 a list of them that has exercises. On this side, we have interval times on individual Post-it notes down here. So what we're gonna do is either your coach or someone in your session is gonna come and draw one Post-it off the wall from the exercise list, and then one Post-it off the wall from the interval list, and put those two together, whatever they are. So you do, let's say it's jumping jacks for 40 on, 30 off for 5 sets. That's what everyone, the whole group, that's what you do for that little chunk. So we do jumping jacks for 5 rounds of 45 on, 30 off, or whatever I just said. Once that's done, we take a break and we remove those two from the list. They're done. So don't put them back on the wall, put them down. We draw another exercise and another interval time. This one might be, we have a plank rocker. I'll show you all these later. Plank rocker, and that might be for 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off for 8 rounds, because that's what's on the interval Post-it. I think you get the idea. So it's going to be very different. I don't know how many different things you're going to get through because it kind of depends on the interval times and sets that you draw, but my guess would be 4 or 5 different exercises in the time allotted. So that one's going to be really fun. A little different. So I do have to demonstrate all the possible moves. Now there's 7 or 8 exercises in the list. We won't get to all of them, but I'm still going to demonstrate everything. So let's get right to that. Okay, so one option in our exercise list is going to be jumping jacks. I know they're in our warm-up as well. However, there's going to be 7 or 8 things in the list, and you're only going to have time to do maybe 4 or 5. So it's not a guarantee that we're going to do every single one of these exercises, by the way, in the routine. Anyway, one option is, of course, our jumping jacks, and we have the step jack option for anyone with avoiding that impact. So that one's pretty straightforward. Jumping jacks, that is one thing that might get drawn for your exercise. Okay, another exercise that is going to be in the list is called a thruster. I haven't done these for a while. We've got a weight in each hand, palms stay turned in towards the center like this, as opposed to forward. Elbows are kind of angled forward. See how my elbows are pushing forward like that. And we go into a squat. And then as you come up, use a little momentum to kind of thrust the weights up, hence the name thruster. Bring the weights back to the starting position. Again, squat, come up with a little bit of speed and momentum, pop those weights up. What we're trying to avoid at the squat is letting the weights fall down like this. So keep them here. That alone engages our shoulders and our abs more. Anyway, don't need to grab that again. So that's another option that we might have to do this week. Okay, another option we might have to do is plank rocker. So it's a standard elbow plank. Now, unfortunately, there's not a knee option for this plank. If you would typically do a standard plank on your knees, that's not really an option for this particular one because it just doesn't work with what we're going to do. But there is an incline option, which I'll show you. Okay, standard plank, meaning toes and elbows. Make sure not to have the butt up like this, so level, parallel to the floor. And then you use your feet. Can you see my feet? Kind of. There you go. To kind of push forward and come back to normal. Forward and back. Forward and back. So it's important when you're in the forward position not to kind of come too low like this to the floor. Like I said, that does not work on the knees. It kind of just doesn't work. So use an incline if we need a slight modification or alternate option. So again, though, we don't want the butt up here, so we're not doing this. The hips are parallel. And then you can still push forward, come back to start. Forward, come back to start. All right, so that is our plank rocker. It's going to be in our list of exercises. Another one that's going to be in there is burpees. The dreaded burpee. It's not so bad. Okay, so let's see, I move to show that a little bit. Standard burpee. I'm going to show you the standard one, and then I'll go to an incline for an alternate option. This one involves 3 jumps, and remember, you can swap any of the jumps out with steps, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so hands down on the floor or on your box. I'll show you that in a second. Hands down, we jump the feet back into a high plank, jump the feet in, and then come up with the jump. See how that was 3 jumps? So all together, back, in, up, back, in, up. Now, you can turn any of those jumps into, it's like a step. You can mix and match as well. So we can like maybe the jump back tends to be the hardest one that I've just noticed. So you might want to step the feet back, but perhaps you can do the jump in and the jump up. So see how you can swap the steps and jumps however it's appropriate. Now, if the getting onto the floor is definitely the hardest way to do that, so feel free to use a box or something like this. You can use something higher, so it would look like this, hands down. We jump back, in, up, something a little bit lower. Same thing, back, in, up. Okay, so that will probably be the most aerobic one. We'll see if anyone draws that. All right, another option is shuffles. Now this one might be tricky, if depending on how large your group is. If you have 10 or 12 people and we draw shuffles, this is to line up and kind of probably go the short width of the turf down and back with the shuffles, because it takes some space, but it'll work. So a shuffle, haven't done them for a while. You're in maybe a quarter of a squat, maybe a half, kind of coming down like this. So you are in a forward fold position with a slight hinge. So we're not just kind of like bending the knees like this, and we're not just staying perfectly upright. And then we shuffle side to side like this, taking that little hop. I'll show you from the front view so you can see how I'm kind of doing a light little hover in the air. My feet kind of meet in the middle. I know I can only get a couple of reps, but in the frame there. It's very, I think everyone should be able to do them because the impact is very minimal. It's like such a light little bounce. It's not even really a jump. However, if for any reason it does feel not great on knees or something, we're going to turn, you still want that body position, like kind of like this. We're just going to take kind of fast, wide steps. I'll show you from the front. Fast, wide steps. So we are taking out that little jump, that little bounce, but I do think it should be okay. It's a very gentle little impact. So anyway, shuffles might be another one that we do this week. All right, push-ups is another one. So push-ups are always hard. However, the interval time that we draw for if you get push-ups, the interval time is going to kind of dictate how challenging this will be. Because if it's like 45 seconds on, that's a lot of time for push-ups. If it's 15 or 20 seconds on, that's not as long. So anyways, but I think we all know push-ups. Your coach will demonstrate there's so many options. You can do floor on the toes, floor on the knees. You can do incline, you can do wall. So even if push-ups are brand new to you, or you feel like you're not, like push-ups aren't your favorite thing, we can do a wall push-up. Like there's something for everybody, I promise. Okay, so push-ups is another one that we might end up doing this week. Okay, then we have a marching hip bridge. That's going to be in our list. So we are down on our back with the knees bent, head on the floor, arms down. We lift the hips up. Now a regular hip bridge would be down and up with your hips like this. However, we are doing a marching hip bridge. So the hips actually stay in one place. Try to make sure they stay up and they don't start to sink down. And then we march the knees, alternating right and left. This is where the hips might want to start to sink. So really try to keep them up there. So that is another one. That one won't be for speed and cardio, just like the push-ups won't be for speed or cardio. It's just a variety of exercise to toss in there. But yeah, marching hip bridge, it'll really get your glutes and your hamstrings and even a little lower back. Okay, we have bicep hammer curls again. I know we had those last week. It's okay to do the same exercises 2 weeks in a row. Now, whatever weight, if we draw this one and we have to do it, whatever weight you used last week, I would suggest going maybe down to the next one down, because I want these, since we are doing this interval style, I kind of want to go for speed. But when you're doing a resistance exercise as opposed to cardio, like jumping jacks or something, we want to look out for going too fast. You don't want to do anything with weights like super fast. So all that said, hammer curls, we're going to do seesaw pattern. So that's one arm goes up while the other goes down. I want you to pick a weight that you can just get them moving relatively like swift. Maybe swift is a good word. So not fast. We're not trying to like go really fast and get sloppy and jerky like that. But this is a weight where I can go, see how I'm going kind of swiftly, but very controlled. too much heavier and I wouldn't be able to do this at this speed with this good form. So keep that in mind when you're picking your weights. Again, usually it's like one set down from where you could do like more like slower, more controlled curls. So if we draw curls, keep that in mind when you're selecting your weights. Also remember we're doing the seesaw pattern, one arm up, one arm down. All right, bicep curls, hammer style. Okay, and there is no team builder this week, so then that gives us a little more time to maybe do one more drawing of the exercises and the intervals. So we're going to skip a team builder this week and to see how many of these rounds we can get in so we can extend that time a little bit. So yeah, nothing to explain on the team builder, but other than that, I hope you enjoy this workout for week 14. Like I said, it's just kind of a different, fun way to do it, a little more engaging, and intervals are also very challenging. So enjoy it. I'll see you back next week.